I'm Kevin Morrison, author of Living in Material World, The Commodity Connection. I've been a journalist for the last 17 years. The last 5 years I've been covering commodities. We have had a number of books published on commodities, but I felt that there was room for another book to explain some of these dramatic changes. First of all, we can look at food. People are now realising when they go along to a supermarket, they're paying a lot more for their food. And there's several reasons for that. One is because of the energy price, simply because all the food that's contained in the supermarket has to be transported there. And what we've seen with oil prices, that they've more than tripled over the last 5 years. So that cost increase is then passed on to the food that we have to buy at the supermarket. We're seeing it when we go to the petrol station to fill up the car. The cost of filling up the car is far more than what it was 5 years ago. We're now seeing with our gas and power bills, they're also increasing precisely for the same reason. Now, with my book, Living in the Material World, it outlines a number of these factors. The consumer is going to have to live with higher food prices, higher energy prices for some period of time. Now, this will change. We won't see high prices forever, because what happens is people respond to higher prices by using less. For instance, we're starting to see it in the US particularly, they're the biggest consumers of petrol. Now, what we're finding in the US is they're actually driving less, so they're not using so much petrol because simply they're looking at the household budget and they're finding, well, we're going to have to cut back in some areas, and what they're cutting back in is driving the car. Environmental issues are a major part of the commodities market now, simply because the demand for energy has created the burning of oil, the burning of coal, and the burning of gas, which provide all the power. What they do is they actually emit carbon dioxide, which is a contributing factor to global warming. What we're starting to see in Europe is the imposition of a carbon price. So basically, things like power stations, large transportation companies, they have to buy, if you like, pollution credits in order for them to be able to burn so much coal or burn so much gas in their day-to-day business. Now, what that does is that puts another level of pricing on our gas bills, on our electricity bills when we go to fill up the car with petrol. The winners out of all this are mainly on the business side. They are the suppliers of these raw materials, the natural resources, the oil companies, the countries that produce gas, the countries that produce oil, the countries that are able to export lots of metals and minerals, such as the Middle East, Russia for oil and gas, but also countries like Canada and Australia for minerals and metals. The business losers are the people that are most affected by this are businesses like the airline companies, where they're facing higher fuel costs, but also they're facing a reaction from consumers who are cutting back on their spending by not going on holiday so frequently. What the consumer will find from this book is really how we got here. Why are they paying the higher prices for their food? Why are they paying higher energy prices? And what the book will tell them is that this period is no passing phase. It is here for the foreseeable future, and really why we do need to change. This can be applicable to the business community as well, because they're dealing with this at a far bigger scale than the consumer. That they have to make decisions about the procurement of natural resources, and they have to look at their business going forward. Is it sustainable? Will they have to make changes to their business practices?